Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Today, I'm going to tell you about the first time I ever got drunk. And trust me, this shit did not go how I expected it to. What started as a completely dead summer night somehow turned into one of the most fun, chaotic, and memorable nights of my life. Me and my homie ended up stealing alcohol, getting absolutely fucked up, throwing up all over the place, and making a bunch of dumb decisions along the way. So, without wasting any more time, let's get straight into it. Now, this story takes place during the summer of 2025, right after my sophomore year, and right before my junior year. So, in the summer in between. And I had just turned 16 not too long ago, so I got my license. So I was driving. Now, based off the title of this video and what I just said, y'all might be surprised that I had done plenty of other drugs and things before this, but somehow I had never actually gotten drunk. There was a reason for that, but on this particular night, I basically said, fuck it. If I was gonna do it, I was gonna just go all in. So, what ended up happening was I hit up my friend Emmanuel to hang out. Some of you might remember him from my last video. He'll become a reoccurring theme. Um, because he was part of my friend group in 8th grade, and like I explained in the last video, but since then we really hadn't hung out much. From the end of 8th grade to sophomore year, maybe only a handful of times, but this ended up being the first hangout of what became the start of one of my closest friendships to this day. So I end up driving over to his house, picked him up, and we're just started. We found out that we wanted to do something. Now, there weren't any parties going on. Nobody was doing anything interesting. And after throwing out a few ideas, we had settled on going to the pool by my house. So, I mean, it was probably about 8 p.m. when we headed over there. Pool closes at like 10, I believe. So, the only problem that the only problem was that neither of us wanted to go to the pool sober. Like, for some reason, in our 16-year-old brains, we had convinced ourselves that we needed to get fucked up one way or another before the night could be fun. So, I mean, so we get to the pool and immediately start trying to figure out how we're gonna make that happen. I start texting everybody I know. My two plugs, random friends, people I barely even talk to. I wasn't picky at all. Weed, alcohol, shrooms, I didn't give a fuck at this point. I was just trying to get something. But no, nothing. First plug hits me back. Couldn't serve tonight. Second plug hits me back. Couldn't serve tonight. None of our friends wanted to pull up. Nobody had anything we could buy off them. Like, none of our friends had anything we could buy off them. And at this point, like, the night's just over. Like, or, like, at least that's what we thought. But then I remembered my last resort. There was a guy I knew who was over 21. We'll call him Jerry for the sake of the story. So Jerry had told me before that if I ever needed alcohol, he could make it happen. So I call him. He picks up. I'm like, "Yo, Jerry, can you come and clutch for us and get a bottle for us if we pay you?" And of course, the one night I actually need him, he tells me he would have done it any other night, but that he was too busy hanging out with his girl. Come on. Like, so that option was gone too. Me and Emmanuel mess around at the pool for about another hour, but honestly, it got pretty boring pretty fast because we had nothing in our system. So we eventually had headed back to the car and basically just thought the night was a total loss. But that's when I asked Emmanuel like, "Yo, is there any other way we can get alcohol or anything?" And he said, I mean, we could do a bottle run. And when he said that, like, I was confused because I didn't know what this was. Like, I've never drank before. I had never like gone on any bottle runs, so I was clueless. And he explained it to me, and suddenly we had a plan. A stupid plan at that, but we had a plan. We had two possible stores in mind to get a bottle run going on. And it was either Stater Bros or Albertsons. Now, Stater Bros, boom, off the list immediately. The Stater Bros got crossed off immediately because the place I worked at back then was in the same parking lot, so there was no way I was getting recognized while doing this dumb shit. So Albertsons it was. So we're on the way. While we're talking about this, we're maybe 5 out from Albertsons. So we end up getting there. We drive over, park. We park at the back of the lot. And looking back at it, we were some complete fucking idiots. We walk into the store, no cart, no basket, nothing. Nothing. Just two obvious looking teenagers walking around doing laps. We literally walked a full circle around the entire store, pretending to browse while secretly trying to figure out how we were gonna pull this off. Like we were like finding the layout of the store, right? So after we had scoped the store out, we went to the bathroom and started discussing our game plan. Like we were planning some kind of fucking heist, like we were in Ocean's 11, right? But at the end of the day, the plan was simple: grab the alcohol, run. That's it. But while we had been walking around the store earlier, I noticed near the exit there was a cooler full of giant um buzz balls, the Biggie buzz balls. And I remember to myself that if grabbing a bottle didn't work out, I could probably snatch one of those and dip. So we leave the bathroom and start heading toward the liquor aisle. The second we turn down the aisle, an employee walks past us like he's leaving the aisle right as we enter and gives us like the look. You know the look, like the these kids shouldn't be here look. And honestly, I mean he was right. So now I'm nervous as hell cuz this fool's on our ass. There's an employee nearby. There's security at the front door. Luckily, he had rotated to this other opening door by the time we had left. But my heart was beating out my chest. And somehow we make it down the liquor aisle, and me and Emmanuel both didn't grab a bottle. We we just walked through the aisle acting normal because we didn't see anything we liked, and everything we liked had alarms on it. And then I remembered the buzz balls. So I walked over, grabbed two of the giant Biggie Buzz balls, and immediately started sprinting for the exit. The second I took off, Emmanuel just started running after me. I don't even think he grabbed anything. Well, he didn't grab anything. He just saw me running and said, fuck it. So we run back to the car as fast as possible. I jumped in, started the engine, threw it in drive, and got the hell out of there. Emmanuel was hyped. Like I don't even know why. He was so hyped. I mean, I was hyped. The adrenaline alone had us feeling like we pulled off the greatest robbery in history. But like, I mean, at the end of the day, we were some dumbass high schoolers just fucking stealing some Biggie Buzzballs, some Goy Slop liquor. So now all we had to do was get back to his house. We ended up getting back to his house, stuffed the buzz balls into my backpack because he had a Ring camera, so we can't just walk in with alcohol. And the second got upstairs to his room, we started drinking. And when I say drinking, I mean drinking. I kid you not, throughout the whole night, I drank probably 90%, almost the entire Big E Buzzball to myself. We got two. So I had one, he had one. He probably had half of his. I probably had like 90% of mine. I still have videos from it. I'm deciding whether I want to like put them in while I'm talking about this or not, or just keep the gameplay. But basically, I wasn't taking sips. I was straight chugging that shit. And it didn't take too long before I started to feel it. I mean, I remember sitting there telling Emmanuel how much I like loved the feeling. Everything felt warm, everything felt relaxed, all the stress in the world just disappeared. And then I got up to walk. Oh, huge mistake. I mean, I needed a pee. So we what we were doing is we were like on his computer. We were just like doing some bullshit, probably watching like fights on X or like watching some bullshit on YouTube. And I make the mistake of getting up. I somehow stumble to his bathroom without eating shit, and I drain the dragon. One thing I learned that night is drunk pisses are the longest and the best pisses you will ever take in your whole life. So, finish up, wash my hands, and I stumble out of the bathroom and try to lay down on his bed. Except this time I wasn't as fortunate. I completely hit the side of the bed, like the edge of the bed, and just fucking bounce off. The next thing I know, I'm airborne. I launch myself right off the edge into like face first into the floor. And I was too drunk. Like my reaction time out the window. No attempt to catch myself, nothing. Just boom, straight into the carpet. Thankfully, it wasn't hardwood because otherwise I probably would have knocked myself out. So, yeah. But even after eating shit like that, excuse me, I was having the time of my life. I was feeling great. Like this is like I understood now why everyone loves getting drunk. But eventually we got on Omegle and just started talking to random people. Nothing too crazy. Just sitting there drunk as hell, laughing at everything, dude. And while we were sitting there drinking more and more, we eventually got to the point where we wanted girls. Now, I made the mistake of hitting up my ex. Now, I'm sure many of you can relate to this. This is a pretty common thing to do while you're drunk. But I was blocked, so I took it to another measure. I DM'd her off his phone. Never got a response, by the way. Just had to throw that in there. So yeah, but I was blocked, so that wasn't happening. And I had no hose where E-Man lived, so yeah, I mean, I kind of just gave it up, but luckily he did. I mean, it's his neighborhood, obviously. He has to have some hose. So he calls this girl, we'll call Ashley for the sake of Goblin. Love you, Goblin. Biggest inspiration. So he calls up this girl Ashley, and somehow she lives like 5 houses away. So naturally, we decide that walking over there in the middle of the night is a great idea. We get over there and spend like 10 minutes standing in the middle of the street trying to convince her to at least let Emmanuel come inside. And that's when it hit me. Like, that's when it hit me. The first of three yaks this night, not necessarily night, but this hangout. I'll explain later. So I sat down on the curb while he was on the phone with her, and I just looked up to him and I said, "Bro, I don't feel good." And then immediately, boom, just projectile vomited violently. Like, oh my God. Apparently, it was like so loud. Ashley told him on the phone that she heard me throwing up. But so, even after all that, Ashley basically just ended up wasting our time. Literally nothing happened. And honestly, this is where the night got really blurry. Um, I remember feeling absolutely destroyed, and I kind of just blacked out for the rest of the night. But like honestly, this is one of my favorite parts of the story. Like, when all I remember is laying down and going to sleep while the whole entire room felt like it was spinning around me, like I just had the drunk fuzzies. But the next morning when I woke up, this is my favorite part. The bathroom door was wide open and there was throw up like everywhere. Like everywhere. I'm talking all over the toilet, all over the floor. Whoever yacked, which, like I said, whoever yacked, like I thought Emmanuel yacked, um, I look over to him and I said, "Yo, bro, I think you yacked." And without missing a beat, he said, "Nah, that was definitely you." I mean, I didn't believe him at first because I guess I blacked out. I genuinely didn't remember throwing up a second time. But when I got closer, I realized he was right. And this is kind of nasty, but the reason I knew it was mine was because I could literally see the beef broccoli from Panda Express that I had eaten earlier that day. So, yeah, mystery solved. Like, oh, I felt so bad. I ended up cleaning up the yak, but I don't even understand how someone could miss the toilet that bad. But yeah, I mean, after that, I packed my stuff because I had work in the morning and headed out. But I mean, this story isn't over. I said I yacked 3 times, so the third time is I got in my car and started driving home, and maybe 200 feet from his house, I had to pull over and I just threw up again. And it was literally all water, so yeah, that was my first time ever getting drunk. I stole 2 buzzballs, got absolutely hammered, face planted off a bed, threw up in the middle of the street, turned Emmanuel's bathroom into a crime scene, and then threw up one last time on the drive home. Honestly, for a first experience, I'd say that's pretty successful introduction to alcohol. And if you guys enjoyed the story, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next.